Hey, how you doing? Good to have you here. We are talking about centering images and elements here in this unit 20 or lesson 26 of unit 1. Awesome. So, you probably struggled or maybe came into a little bit of challenges trying to center some things while creating and working on your websites. A lot of the times it happens because, oh my gosh, it would be so nice if we could just apply text-align center to all things, like images and whatnot. But it's a little bit trickier than that, and specifically talking about some inline elements. We'll get into that here in a second. So the quick solve is, hey, when this doesn't work, setting the text align to center of that element, this is a really sturdy go-to. This will work most of the time, and we'll talk about why this works and what's up with it. But in the CSS, set the width to something. Give it a margin of auto, which will automatically adjust the left and right margins to equal each other. And thus like centering the thing, and then also making the display a block. As we mentioned a second ago, like one of the issues is that not all elements are block elements, some are inline elements, and we'll see what that looks like and why that doesn't really work here in a second. Once we get into some code. So let's jump into it. Take a moment, fork this blank sandbox, and name it centering images. And I've already done that, forked it, and we'll also need an image from Unsplash here, or someplace on the internet. I really like Unsplash for our image tag. And so take a moment here. We're going to jump in here. We want to call this centered images. I'll just grab that. And remember up here top, this is where we're going to rename our sandbox, as it were, our project. Now let's see what else we want to do here. Let's make sure that our order is correct here, just giving a little bit of a reminder how the order and our file structure works. We want to go to all sandboxes. Boom. All right, we know we're going to want to, I duplicated this, I was showing that to someone earlier. So there's my unit 1, and here we go. This is centering images. I know that belongs to unit 1, so I'll throw that in there. Excellent. Now I can double click on it, and we are back to our blank sandbox here. We know that we're going to have some styles going on, so let's right off the bat create a directory for that, call it CSS, and then within there we're going to have our styles, styles dot CSS. And those extensions are important, as you've probably noticed. I was working with someone the other day, and the solve was just it was a false extension. So we'll get back to that one. Let's start in our index here of centering images, and we are going to be putting in this code. So let's do it here. I'm going to get rid of my file. Then I could do this right here. All right. So here we go. We're starting with our document. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Document type declaration. That doesn't have a closer. We get our HTML, where we'll set the language to English US. Excellent. And that, of course, we'll have a closer as well. That's where all of our HTML belongs. We got 2 sections. We got the head, boom, and which also has a close, and of course the body. It's a lot quicker. All right. So inside the head, we want to link our style sheets. Yup, and the href, where is it located? It's going to be inside of the CSS folder, and it's going to be the styles.css file. Excellent. And we'll declare the type as well. It is a text CSS. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, Let's throw a title in here, which, as we know, it changes the name up there on the tab. This is going to be, we'll call this centering. Ooh, do I still have it saved? Hey, I got it right there. Nice. And we'll just clean it. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, in terms of our body, what are we going to put in here? Let me get rid of this one. In terms of our body, we've got an image, and we're going to need a source for that image, which we'll find here in a second. And we'll give it a class as well, because I know we're going to be styling this out, and we'll give it the class cat-image. And if you do want two words, those do need to be hyphenated in order for our CSS to work. Here, whoops, end align, my end aligns. Jeez, there they are, very important. Auto formatting is so nice nowadays. All right, so boom, there we go. We got our image, we got our class. Let's go find our image. We go to Unsplash, boom, and I'll search cat. Great, this one looks awesome, yawner. Click on them. I can even right click, and let's copy the image address. You can get all kinds of information about this image in order to give people props later if you do use their images on some legit sites. We will paste that right there. You can use a different image if you want. Of course, I'm going to save it. Awesome, because we got a couple things going on here. It auto formatted my image element to have its own attributes right there on different lines. Great. We save this. If we looked at it, booyah, we got our cat there. Awesome. Keep going. What else we got? I think we got a span next. Yes, we do. P.S. The image element and the span element, you may recall, are both inline elements, and that's going to come into play here. This we're going to give the class of my text. We want all of our text to have that for this exercise. Hi there. We'll give a little hello, and then we want our closer. There it is. And so if we save this and take a look at it, boom, we got our cat. And then right here, kind of in the end, let's look at this in an actual, I had it up. Right here, boom. So because it's a span, these are both inlines, and notice these guys are on the same line, these two. They're not starting a new line because they are inline elements. If I go now and let's, I think we're adding a paragraph. Yes, very good. And we'll give that also a class of my text. And the text here is actually going to be lorem ipsum, so I'm just copying and pasting that because I don't think we gain anything by copying nonsense. So I'm copying and pasting that there. Fabulous. Command S is to save. Now that blue dot disappears, blue dot disappears. I don't like looking at it here. Let's take a look right here. I refresh, and this is what we got going on. So we got a cat. We got that span right here, keeping this on the same line. And then because the paragraph is a block element, it starts its own new line there. Yup. All right. Now, this is what we are tasked with doing beyond this. We want to ultimately have each of these elements on their own line and centered for aesthetic purposes. So let's start with a little styling that looks like this. Okay, I can put this in. We've already created our style, so I'm just going to go right in there. Boom. Let's make sure we're connected. So well, I guess we'll know on our very first line. So let's target the class my text, because I think that's the easiest, or whatever. That's what we'll do first. We'll give it a border, and we'll give it a border of 2 pixels. Solid green, why not? Save it, and let's make sure that we are in fact connected. If I refresh this, do I have green around my text? Yes, I do. Okay, so my style sheet is connected to my index HTML, which is a really nice thing to check before you put in a bunch of styles. It is working. So A lot of the times the standard is to make some text color red is what a lot of people, but as long as something's working, we know that we're connected. So let's give this a padding as well. And the padding again will make it so that the, boom, check it out. The words aren't right, the text isn't right up against the border. Very good. Let's give this a background color of orange. Boom. Let's give this a margin on top of 20 pixels. And we'll give it a margin on bottom of the same thing. Excellent. Save it. Booyah. This is what we're looking at this moment. Okay, does not look great. I will be the first one to admit that. Looking pretty ugly at this moment. We're getting at least some colors going on here, but these things being on the same line and now offset because we gave this a 20 pixel difference, this is just not looking so great. But we're gonna clean it up. Let's see here. Boom, boom. We'll also get involved with that cat image, which again, we gave this. These are the classes, of course, of these items right here. Get this out of here. Of these items right here, we got my text that we gave the class right there, and then of course our image has the class of cat image. We'll give it a width, DTH, and we'll do this one in percentage. So this is going to be 50%, which means that it should take up 50% of its space, of its parent, of the whole thing. So notice that the cat image is now half of the whole viewing width. If I go here, again, it is, boom, half of your viewing width. Yep. And so if you resize this, that should, the cat image, because, oh, can't do it there. Because, boom, see how the cat, yeah, the cat gets, it just maintains that 50% width. All right, so it has width of 50%, and we'll make the height auto, which it was already doing, resizing the height based on the width, but let's just to make sure we'll do that for proper form. And yeah, looking okay, but we'll notice that this is centered. No, our text is not currently centered. It's left aligned, even though we do have a little space there. That's what it's thrown off by. All right, so what's our next task? What do they want us to do here? Things are looking pretty ugly. All right, guilty is charged. In order to center all of our text, we will target the myText class that we created. Boom. Yeah, and so let's center that text. That's what we're going to do. Right here, you can definitely tell this is left aligned. Let's get center aligned. So for all of my text, which is classed as .myText, we will give this a class. We're targeting the property text align, and we're going to center it. Save. Booyah! We got center align going on. Very nice. Now we're going to want to align this guy as well, the cat. But let's get these on separate. Let's get these on separate. Separate lines, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to change their display from an inline, which it was, to a block. And if we give that block element display to both that, which will specifically, we're really targeting this guy, this right here, the span, because this is an inline. That's why it's acting all weird. The paragraph will also get that display block, but a paragraph already is a display because as a block, because it's a block element, and we don't need that text. All right, so this will kick these two onto new lines. Let's save it. Booyah! Okay, sweet, worked. Now looking at this, let's refresh. Booyah! Sweet, I'm loving it. We got this stuff on, geez, sorry, no McDonald's advertisements here. We are looking all right. Now, let's get this cat image into the center as well, shall we? let's get that over there. Now, if we try, this is the thing that would be nice if it just worked. We're like, hey, let's give it the same text align center. Maybe that'll just work for an image. It doesn't. So we're actually going to need to do two things as stated earlier. One we already did. We're going to need the width determined. We need a width somehow, and be it pixels or percentage or something, and we've already done that, setting this to 50%. The other thing that we're going to want to do is set the margin. And this is really clever. It might not be intuitive at all at first why this works. But once I press save, this is going to center the image. And the reason it is making the margin auto, it means it's going to make the margin on the left, the space between the picture and the left side, equal to automatically the same as the one on the right side. So when I press save, booyah, it's like the margin auto is telling it, hey, make this margin automatically the same as this margin, and therefore centering it. Now, there are a whole bunch of different ways to center different objects, and this one might actually not work for everything, but this works for a vast amount of things and elements, and I highly advise this. Might take some tweaking with other things in the future, you know, but this is a great way of working with inline elements by getting them onto a new line with display block, setting the width, and then setting the margin to auto. Booyah. Yep. With text is easy. Text align center. All right. I think that is everything. Looks great. Yep. Margin auto. Boom. That's what I was just talking about. Looks great. Looks fantastic. And why do I have two widths here? Awesome. Happy coding.